Tommy, how important is it for your program, for both programs, actually, to keep this series going?
I mean, I think it's extremely important. I think it's both fan bases. I don't know. I don't know if it's a love hate deal. I don't. Not for me. But I think there's just a mutual respect between the programs, and I think us programs on the West Coast need to protect each other. I mean, this is there's not a lot of us out here. There's a lot of space out west, and only a select few programs that are playing at that highest level, and us and UCLA happen to be a couple of them. So I think just the matchup's great for our fan bases, and I think it's great for college basketball, and I think it serves both programs well. And there's no shame in losing to UCLA, and I don't think there's any shame in losing to Arizona, and I think both programs are better for the game.
Matthew Lowe with The Athletic. There was a lot of talk early on this season about this really highly touted freshman class just across college basketball. You have two of those guys. But tonight, those veterans kind of stepping up. And for those freshmen, as teams are able to game plan for really more, how do you just keep learning and adjusting that?
Well, I mean, I think you're right. They just have to keep learning, and the adjustments are going to come. I knew that they were going to load up on Koa today, and you can kind of prepare him for it, but at the same point, one of the things that makes Koa good is how physical and how aggressive he is. So I didn't want to kind of overdo it with him and have him going into the game fearful, but I think it'll be a great learning experience for him. I mean, they were in the gaps, they were attacking his spins. But for me, I see that as an opportunity that we can create a lot of offense out of that. And so I can't wait to get a hold of the film for him, for Braden, and for them to kind of see, what adjustments they can make that can make the game coming a little easier for them.
How are you able to hold Donovan that's limiting his scoring tonight?
I mean, I don't know what he ended up with. I mean, we just, we feel like we got good size, and we felt pretty comfortable if we could get downhill. If he got downhill and we just didn't give him absolute easy layups and we didn't foul him, we wanted to see how many of those shots he could make in size and traffic, and I wouldn't have been surprised if he would have made some, but you kind of have to pick your poison a little bit, and Bilodeau, they just do a great job with him, and he's become such a good player, for a kid from Eastern Washington to playing on the big stage in LA, and he's just a tough cover, and he has some great shots, and so it just makes it really difficult. And then hey, their other players are really good as well. I mean, the big kid number one, Booker. I mean, he obviously made some jump shots kind of early and got a floater going early, and you're like, man, that could be a tough cover, And then the three man, the lefty. I'm sorry, I'm horrible with names, but he's just a really good player, and he got going a little bit there too. So they got a lot of good players. I mean, I think UCLA is primed to have a great season.
Questions for Anthony as well?
Well, I was going to ask Tommy. I'm going to go ahead. Just one thing about Kobe and Falco. What's your thoughts on just the way that you had Kobe and
Well, Bruce, you and I have been going back and forth this forever. I'm comfortable doing it. I think Tobe, like anything, needs a little more experience in it. I felt when he was at the game at the four, there was a real physical presence we had. Tobe's also good defensively. I thought he was really good in those switches tonight, and then just was a monster on the boards. And he kind of had some just vicious drives to start out that second half. So no, I like it. I mean, it may not be aesthetically pleasing to certain people, but I think it's tough to play against, and that's what we're aiming for.
For Anthony, obviously you can make the threes, but there are also a couple players who just how much does that become more part of your game than maybe it was last year?
Yeah, I think something that goes unnoticed is that part of my game. Before I came to this school, that's really all I did, and I was a very downhill guy, free throw line guy, and then obviously coming to the bigger level, you get that physicality, bigger guys, and you kind of have to adapt. So that's something that in the off season that I've gained, these muscle and this understanding of the offense. It's something I'm trying to bring back in terms of not really something I have to develop. It's already been there. It's just kind of been hidden.
Down the stretch, obviously, how much does it mean to you to know the coach has as much faith in you down the stretch, and even in key moments of the game to put you out there?
Yeah, it feels great. I mean, obviously, when you have a coach that backs you and trusts in you, that's all you can ask for. It gives you the ultimate confidence to go out there and play your game. And if things go good, it's good. If things go bad, he's got you no matter what. So that gives me ultimate confidence, and I think he does that to a lot of our guys, and that just makes us go down the stretch with that building confidence that we can perform and execute and get the win like tonight.
And how did you feel on the crowd? The crowd was outstanding tonight.
Yeah, the crowd was great. Obviously we always have a good fan base. I thought UCLA had a great fan base tonight. But you got to do your best to kind of block that out. When you're talking about that pass, it's nothing more than I see my teammate run open, I throw it up there, and he gets it, makes a layup, and it's a simple play, really. But the crowd was great. When they had to run, the crowd got into it. We had to run, the crowd gets into it. It's a great basketball game overall.
Hey, Deli, just following up on earlier in the first half when you guys were down there, did you see it coming when you get some looks like that and hit them, or was there an extra thought in your mind as far as
What's the question?
Well, I mean, just did you see that coming early on? You're coming off the bench, so you're a little bit different.
Yeah, we scout all week, obviously, we have practice, so you have a good understanding of what the team's going to do. But at the end of the day, you just got to be aggressive. You got to play your game and kind of, be reactionary in a way. And I just came in and kind of saw areas that, we knew as a team going into the game that we could exploit. And, the opportunity presented itself, and my teammates found me in great spots, and I was able to knock it down tonight.
When you guys stay with Koa and your young guys after a game like this, they're going to be doubled up, they're going to go on board. How do you get them to bounce back? Keep their heads up, knowing what you guys have next.
You got that one, Dylan.
We all know they're great players. I think everyone knows they're great players. Whether they've proved it on this stage yet or not, we don't take that as a doubting factor. The best thing I can do, JB, Tobe, Aspets, Krivas, we can just take them under our wing, kind of let them know that, we're going to live to see another day. There's plenty of basketball to be played. Watch the film, whether good or bad, and just come back and get to practice and don't stress about it really, because they're good enough guys, so they can take the criticism and move on.
I have two more questions right here.
For either of you guys, Coach Cronin said that the difference at the end was you guys were executing on offensive end and they weren't. Just in comparison, how are you able to get baskets on one end and then get stops on the other at the end?
Well, we found an action, Ken Nakagawa, one of our assistants kind of gave me an idea and we ran with it and kind of put JB in a good spot those last few possessions. And then, we decided just to get a feel for what switching would feel like. And, fortunately we switched and I think the ball kind of got out of Dent's hands a little bit. Bilodeau wasn't able to kind of, get a rhythm three or, maybe, where he creates situations where if you don't switch him, he pops and, puts a lot of stress on your defense. So, we just wanted them to try to make individual plays over our size. And then, and then offensively, we found one little action that worked. And thank God we got up 4 and the game ended, because I'm sure if it would have went a few more minutes, UCLA would have had an adjustment we would have had to figure out. And that was just kind of a game of adjustments the second half.
Coach, obviously, this last year's game, but this tonight, a really solid game overall. What can you say about just his presence tonight? How strong he played overall?
Well, I think Mo, and I don't want to say he's just scratching the surface, but I think, that there's some merit to that statement. Like, he's really going to impact the game. He's starting to impact the game defensively. He's starting to impact the game on the glass. You felt his size out there tonight. He kind of got a few jump hooks in there at the start of the second half, and he's really good at that. We got to get a little more adept at finding him, on some of those post ups and in really utilizing that as a weapon within our offense.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you guys. Have a good one.